from Georgia. Welcome.
Hi, David.
You're having some coming out issues, huh?
Guess you could say that. Well, first I want to say, Don, I've always enjoyed your failures segments.
Thank you.
My wife and I both really enjoy listening to the show when you do those. They're very informative. So, and they like your,
well, thank you very much.
Kind of angle and perspective. So I'll be quick because I know you're short of time, and I have a vague question, I guess. Yeah, just more in terms of really, I've probably been an atheist since I was a kid, but, I don't want to go into that whole story. But, my parents know my father's non-religious, and my wife's parents are non-religious. But we both feel, and I'll just speak for myself, a little bit trapped, like people so openly talk about it. And I think I feel boxed in at work, being a public school teacher, with prayers in school, at meetings sometimes, things like that. So I feel a little bit boxed in. And, I want to push back on it, but don't want to.
Yeah.
You know where I'm going. You don't want to be jeopardized.
So you're struggling with boundaries, is what I'm hearing, right?
Yeah, that's probably it, Don.
Okay. I don't know if I have any rules for you. Maybe Jenna does.
I don't have any rules, but I can tell you what I'm doing because I'm kind of going through that right now, actually.
Okay.
So where are you in the coming out? Do they? How long ago did you come out, and to everyone all at once, or are you making individual phone calls? How are you doing it?
No. It's been. Most of my friends, a lot of them are non-believers as well. It wasn't a planned process. Personally, I just kind of started being more honest. I'll just say this. My father and I have talked about and he kind of hid it from, my parents are divorced, and he hid it from his second wife, and she died, but his third wife now is a non-believer also. And we were kind of talking about it. And I say, is it tough? He lives in a small town in Virginia, smaller than where I live, and he's retired and everything. But he says, oh, yeah, I wouldn't say I'm an atheist, but I just avoid the conversation. You should probably just do the same. And I just kind of feel like I don't want to hide that. I don't want to argue, especially at work. I'm very professional.
Totally.
Would never introduce it in my classroom, but everyone else is so open and free to give their Christian advice to me. Mm-hmm. I just secretly roll my eyes and, come on.
Have you ever heard of street epistemology?
Yes.
Have you looked into it at all?
Anthony
Magdabosco?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that,
yeah.
A lot of it. Yeah.
So the reason I usually bring that field up when it comes down to talking to people in your personal life and as opposed to strangers on the street, because it's a very sensitive thing to represent yourself differently than you have before, and it can be very confusing to people, and that alone can make you come off as untrustworthy just in the fact that you've changed your mind.
Seemingly changed your mind.
Right. So I think that a better way to approach that kind of thing in your personal life when you're not sure about how people will take it, you're not sure about what they'll do to you or around you or anything like that, is to just ask them, take the street epistemology approach. Just ask them questions about the things that they are claiming instead of pointing and ridiculing them when they say something that sounds absolutely ridiculous to you now. Because I would kind of keep that in your own group, like if at home you can talk like that, that's fine, let that release and let that start to feel normal. But the fact is that it's, in Georgia, in Texas, in most places that I've been, it's not normal. And so the best way to present yourself in a way that you won't inspire people to come out and attack you is to not say anything, but just ask them. And usually I've found from my experience being asked questions is more likely to make me start questioning the things that I believe than for people to tell me things. Because I don't know how many times people have told me so many things. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. But if somebody asks me a question that I'm not expecting, I'm like, oh, wait, what? You know what I mean?
And I think that's most appropriate for one-on-one, right?
It can be.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you're having a discussion with a group of people, sometimes you can just ask a question and other people in that group may start pondering and,
Yeah.
you know?
A related suggestion might be humor is sometimes a good way to get an idea under the radar and get people thinking a little bit. And, well placed and lighthearted.
Lighthearted.
Yes. Be gentle with your humor.
Yeah.
Can sometimes get your point across in a way that you would have to really work at otherwise.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm pretty subtle at work, given my position, and my wife's at her work is even more so. And in my personal life, it's a little bit easier, but sometimes, I haven't lived in this area very long. I've lived in multiple places around the world, and from the Middle
So
East.
you're culturally adept, right? At negotiating.
So I can kind of
Yeah.
navigate a little bit, but it was a bit of a culture shock.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you go soon, but I was in the grocery store, and somehow a conversation started up, and what church do you go to? And I just kind of slipped out of, well, we're not Christian,
Right.
and it was like almost an angry assault after that. We're just like, okay, have a good time, see you.
Yeah.
When I come to people on the street that are, begging for money for Jesus and they knock on my car window and they're like, we're raising money for this church, I just say, I don't give money to churches, thanks.
Yeah.
And they obviously say, God bless you, and walk away. And I'm like, you can say whatever you want to me, but I'm going to pleasantly tell you that I don't support that.
Yeah.
All right.
I like that. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I try to. Humor's probably the best. Probably is the best thing to live. So anyway, I'll let you go. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
And
Thank
Take
you.
care, man. Good luck to you.
for all your. I keep the failures going.
Okay, I'll keep failing.
Really
All right. All right. Thanks a lot, David.